All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we're going to talk about listing videos. We're going to take a look at a couple examples, and I'm going to show you some best practices, some ideas, and then also show you how you can create them with AI. Why not, right? We can do a lot of stuff with AI these days. So before we get into today's presentation, we're going to bring Bill Seitz, the man, the myth, the legend, corporate broker for Alta Realty Group, on the line. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy rainy Wednesday.
Hey, last week I mentioned that the weather was changing just like interest rates. We did call that one and yeah, here we are. Winter's back.
Yeah, thank goodness. It was like summer in the middle of winter for a little while there.
I think it was like in the high 80s here last week. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Walked out to the beach one day and I was like, this is pretty much a summer day.
It's kind of like the California secret, We always seem to get those days, at least a few in the wintertime. So that's like the old Rose Bowl deal where half the country is freezing on New Year's Day and they're watching the Rose Bowl and it's, 75 degrees and sunny.
Pretty much. It's kind of like psychotic weather patterns here. Hot, cold, but that's why everyone lives here.
That's right.
Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate that, especially our regulars. Take the time to spend 30 minutes with us every Wednesday. We do have a new agent, right, Kevin? We want
Oh
to
yeah,
mention her.
Mariella.
Yeah, Mariella Iglesias joined Alta Realty Group. So thank you, Mariella, for choosing Alta Realty Group. We hope that you'll find a home here that we really enjoy helping our agents and doing great things for them and giving them the platform to succeed. So welcome. Kevin, let's start with the Broker Tuesday tip.
Okay.
And that was just basically a reminder of signing commission instructions and listing cancellations. Most of you know it's obviously that's a broker thing, a broker task that we do. But sometimes it can get confusing if it says like broker associate, and some people, agents will sign that incorrectly. So please, just make sure you send those out with a TC, or sometimes they'll be signed with the commission disbursement authorization. So, and then lastly, the proper sequence for cancellation should go as follows. Get your seller to sign the cancellation first, then send it to me for signature second, and then I can cancel it in the MLS. But yeah, don't send it to, or don't ask me to cancel a listing in the MLS without a fully executed cancellation of listing, for obvious reasons. We don't want to jump the horse or just go in the wrong order. Obviously, we want to have a properly executed cancellation by the seller and us as the brokerage, and then we'll go in and get it removed or canceled in the MLS. So that is important to note that sequence. So if you guys can properly follow it, that'd be great. Also, reminders, we are a paperless digital company. We don't use paper and things like that and mounds of extra stuff. So digital signature is the way to go.
Yeah, thank goodness. Gone are the days of driving all over town getting everybody to sign stuff. But you remember that well, don't you, Bill?
Or wall-to-wall file cabinets.
Yeah. So embrace the technology, use the technology. It's there
Yeah,
for us. And so, yeah, that's the way we operate. Thank you.
100%. Let's look at the 10-year treasury real quick.
All right, let's bring that little guy up.
As expected, we did have a little reprieve. I think last week we were in the 4.25 zone, and interest rates have come
Here it
down
is.
a little bit, which there you're on the right track there.
Here we go.
Yeah, so even this morning, even in the last like hour, I think I checked the financials about hour and a half ago, and it was at 4.17. So it's pretty flat today. And if you look at the graph, there it is from last week. This time last week, we've actually come down a little bit. So, I get alerts from the lenders, the various lenders out there that the pricing has improved. And so that's good news. Let's see if it keeps continuing down more towards 4%. That would be a significant little rundown. So that's what we're hoping for, and we'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, that's a nice little dip right there. And we had that spike. And so hopefully it goes that direction, right?
Yeah, we're about down about what 10, 12, 13 basis points. So let's see it keep going down. That'll be helpful. Seems like the market is picking up. I just feel like there's more activity out there. I don't know if you're all seeing that as well, but it does feel that the spring home buying season is kicking off. So, um, we talked last week about the percentage of people with 6% interest rates or higher and 3%, and it was about split down the middle. So people are making moves regardless of interest rates still in that 6% range. Um, People aren't waiting anymore is really the reality of it. So, get out there and make it happen.
Absolutely. Get those listings. A lot of
Yeah.
sellers.
Exactly. And let's just take a look at this funny Instagram. I like this one. And I have an anecdote. I have an anecdote about it. So before you start it, it says when the client doesn't understand the contract and asks us to break it down. It's
So
fun.
let's break it down.
So funny little, you know, if you've ever been, if you've been in this business long enough, you've gotten the one or two clients that literally ask you to read the contract start to finish and go through it page by page, line by line. It's like every realtor's worst nightmare. Like you can't
Oh, yeah.
summarize it. And when I first started, I don't know, in the early 2000s, I had an engineer as a client, and you know how analytical engineers are. And so nicest guy, but he was like, Bill, can you sit down and go through the contract with me? I was like, sure. Mind you, 4 to 5 hours later, we finally got through the whole thing. I mean, it was like, I think we started like at 6 at night and ended up leaving there around 10. It was like, it was crazy. And he literally wanted to go through every single, he wouldn't just take a summary as like he wanted to go through everything. So, if you've ever been there, you understand how painful that can be. And that was back when the contract was only about 8 or 9 pages. Now it's 16,
I was
16
gonna
to
say,
17 pages. So if you get caught in that situation now, you're really screwed.
oh,
Uh,
you need a week.
but just a reminder, it's good to have like your pro summary of like what sections of the contract are what. Like the first couple pages are the terms and all that stuff, and then it goes into the definitions, and then you got your mediation, arbitration, blah, blah, blah. Like if you at least have some sort of like good summary of where the contract has its information, then you probably aren't going to fall into that situation most likely. But it's important to, I think, have that nailed because you don't want to end up like me and spend 4 hours, 5 hours with somebody. It's just that's painful.
It's maddening.
And if you don't know it, you're gonna look pretty silly. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm excited to show the video today, Kevin. This is a good one. I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, so we're going to start off, and this was put together. This was a listing that one of our longtime agents, Mel Chappelle. Good morning, Mel. She's on the line with us.
Yeah, good morning,
Uh,
Mel.
yeah, she did a few years ago, and so this was a listing she took in Sausalito, and so let's just go ahead and play the video. And if for some reason you can't hear it, sometimes the audio doesn't work, but should be able to hear it. Just say something, Bill. But here we go.
My name is Michael Birdie Hansen, and I've lived in Sausalito for my whole life. I don't know who owned it the first time, but the second time it was owned was by my grandpa. He was in the Navy. When he got out of the Navy, I think World War One, came to Sausalito and wanted to continue his fishing career. I'm not sure the timeline, but by 1930, he'd come here and bought the house next door for $1,000. And my grandma and my grandpa set up shop there. His boat was down at the end of the block, and my grandpa and grandma lived there and had my dad. My dad was bathed in the sink that I did dishes in. During the Depression, there was a lady that lived in this house and she couldn't afford the mortgage. So my grandpa said, well, I'd be happy to take over the mortgage. It was $10 a month. So he took over the mortgage and let her live here till she died. It became a rental property for my grandpa and grandma. And then when I was born, my brother and I were born, he said, now we know who to give the houses to. Well, the vibe, we all know the vibe. Back in the day when we were kids growing up around here, it was an artist community and it was a really special place for people to live that didn't have a lot of money. This was an outpost at one time, and these were bungalows, and this is where men kept their women from San Francisco. The lawyers would have uh, apartments here, rentals here that they would keep their ladies in and go visit them on the ferry. There was no connection to the city until they built the bridge. They built the bridge and then it became what it is today.
Welcome to Marin County, California, where the search for the ultimate lifestyle is the goal of every man.
Yeah, 70s and 80s, growing up in Marin County was growing up with rock royalty. It was growing up with Journey, it was Huey Lewis in the News, Jefferson Airplane, Janis Joplin and her band lived here. Everybody who was anybody in rock and roll lived here. The Grateful Dead, probably the greatest example of Marin County. They would give me and my brother their old equipment when they were done with it. They would pass it on to us because they knew we're here and went, come on, keep going. Growing up here, had all my bands, had so many bands. I'm not going to tell you how many bands. And then met a friend of mine, lived downtown. We decided to put a band together and we decided to name it a community name. Have a band called Hurricane Gulch. And we've been pursuing that for like the last decade. Just rock it and get something out of it for yourself. I mean, it's a rock star's house. I've had in my career of playing music, I've had rock stars come to my house and tell me I was the winner. I was the rock star. So it's just peaceful, wonderful living. This house for 40 years has been a joy every morning to get up, look at that view, and just be here. If you live in Sausalito, you are subjected to the weather of Sausalito, which is Carl. You must know Carl if you know about Marin County, which is the fog and the wind. We live here in Hurricane Gulch, which is the windiest place to live in Sausalito. And I love it. I mean, Golden Gate Market's right at the end of the road, and Molly Stone's is at the end of town. And then in between, there is the No Name and Smitty's. Yeah, it's a beautiful little jewelry box. You know, it's enough for a couple to live in with a kid or a couple alone. You have to be willing to go up and down the hills, and you have to be willing to go out in the wind and sometimes the rain and the fog and everything like that. But it's lovely. I've never not enjoyed that. I'm getting older, so going up and down the hills is a little harder, but I love the wind and the fog and the everything. I love the weather of it. And then there's plenty of sunny days. Like today is a beautiful sunny day. So it's what everybody wants. That's why everybody wants to live here.
Not bad. So of course that is on the long side, and nobody really, is expected to create videos, listing videos of this caliber. So Mel, awesome job. But this property had such an amazing story to tell, so it lent itself to creating this kind of a video. So very, very cool. Bill, what's your comment on this one?
Yeah, the background music didn't like come through, which it's a bummer. I don't know if it will maybe on the replay, but because I think you'll send a link to, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess you can. It's because the way they layered the background music as he's speaking on this historical stuff is really cool. It really gives the video like a lot of life. But yeah, just at the historical perspective, like they really touch on so many eras of Sausalito and how it started and where it is today and what the lifestyle. I mean, you really get a really good picture of what it's like to live, in that gentleman's home and in that neighborhood. So I think it's outstanding. I love the historical context. Yeah, it might be a little bit long for some marketing pieces. I mean, I think you'd have to. I mean, I'm sure Mel would know how she used those things and could probably explain that. But she ended up working with the buyer on this property. It was an investor that's completely remodeled it top to bottom. I believe she's going to relist it here shortly. So what a great opportunity for someone to come in and and fix it up and pass it on to somebody else. So great story.
Yeah. And so Mel says, yep, that house has been completely remodeled, pretty much a new build, and it's going to the market around the beginning of March. So thanks for that, Mel. So awesome example of a listing video. So let's also take a look at one of our agent, another really long time agent that's been with us for, guy, probably around 8 years, is Charles Barnes. And so let's take a look at Charles Barnes' example of a. So this is he specializes, and I love when agents specialize in a community or in a farm. This particular area is in Fullerton. It's called Lakeside, I'm sorry, Buena Park, Lakeside Buena Park. And so he is the guy. He lives there, and this little community has this awesome lake and all these, lakefront properties, and then these adjacent properties. And so let's take a look at this one. And I'm sorry that the music didn't come through while we were playing that, but I will share both links in the replay. So let me know if there's a problem with this one.
Yeah, no music, Kev.
Okay. Better? Can you hear the music now? You're muted, buddy.
What it was going. Yeah.
Okay, okay. There's Charles. So, whoops. So kind of cool, he's got his drone and he's doing all of his drone stuff, flying around his neighborhood. But a fun example of not really a listing video, but a community video, which I think are really powerful as well. So very, very good job, Charles.
Well, and Kevin, look at the
Yeah,
views.
yeah,
So if you look down the bottom left,
yeah.
so he's got 13,000 views on this video. And granted, obviously we didn't, the audio didn't play cleanly all the way through, but good quality drone footage overview. People that are considering this community because the schools are amazing here. This is a great little, you know, teaser piece for people considering Buena Park and Lakeside.
Great teaser piece. So next, and I'm not going to belabor this too much, but I want to share with you a little graphic that I created today. And so just some things to think about when thinking about creating a listing video. So you want to create an engaging real estate video, right? A lot of times the way that that's done, and you'll see in a lot of different examples that you can search for on the internet, it's fast paced, it's a vertical reel, right? Because most of the people these days, if it's on TikTok or if it's on uh, Instagram, it's a vertical piece. So you want to shoot them that way these days. You don't want to do horizontal. You want vertical. And you want to highlight top features, lifestyle focused tours, drone overviews. Drones are awesome. They're pretty cheap these days. And you can also have Preview First, our real estate partner. They can come out and do drone footage. And you want to collect a lot of be-real stuff as well as you're cruising around. You can do stuff with this is where you can do stuff with your iPhone. And again, take it vertically and make yourself some short reels. So in Instagram, you can create what is known as reels, and they pop up very, very well. They get a lot of a lot of views, and so they're very important. So you want to have a top 3 hook. Quickly show 3 best features. You don't have to do the entire house. Most of the time, these videos should be very short. They should be less than 90 seconds in total. And you want to have 15-second montages to trend and to make sure these things are just very quick, very, very engaging. And that way people don't have to spend a ton of time watching your video. They can just sit down, watch it really quick, get a good idea of what that property is about, and they can form their own opinion. So another good thing to do is walk and talk. Walking through the space, describe the personality, describe what you see as you're walking through that room or that area of the home. So detailed property videos, you want to do either an agent-led walkthrough, you want to do drone aerial overviews, nighttime ambiance is really cool, 360-degree virtual tours are also good. And again, Preview First does a lot of this stuff for you guys, so super easy to spend not that much money and get a lot of really good content from them, which you can do a lot of different things with once you have it. Storytelling and context videos are great. Do a before and after if there's renovations, transformations, always a really good idea to do. A lot of times you'll meet with your seller and you'll have a consultation with that seller and say, hey, there's a few things you need to do in order to get this place ready for market, right? So document that story. We've talked about that in the last couple of weeks, is not just saying, here's a property. It's tell the story of the property, make it engaging, give it a personality, give it a name, right? So a lot of really great ideas how to set your property and your listings apart from others. So showing the story of the renovations, the staging. So really, really cool. Also, as Charles Barnes did, neighborhood spotlight, feature local parks, cafes, schools, all those different things. Behind the scenes, show the media day, the crew setting up, build the anticipation. So really just cool tips for creating these listing videos. Again, use B-roll banks. film everything, then you can reuse that stuff in different edits. Add captions and overlays. Mel Chappelle did a great job of that, adding little things that you can, that draws your eye, the little arrows. Here's, from the drone footage, here's a little arrow of where the property is. And overviews of things like that that really help tell the story. So really, really cool. Let me show you guys now a great way to make these videos. So first of all, collect all the footage you can from Preview First or from a photographer. Then use a company that I found called AutoReel. So this is a way to create stunning property videos instantly with AI. Why the heck not, right? Use the technology, use what we have available to us. So what you are able to do, and look, they come out really good. So it's as easy as this. You upload your photos, you customize the look and feel. They have a whole bunch of different templates and ways that you can display these, all of your videos and all of the things that you upload. Then get your polished video instantly and add your own style, add your own overview, add your video or add your audio, add, things that are going to augment this property video. But it's a really easy way to start. And a lot of us are not technically savvy. So this is an easy way to have it done for us. So if you're scared of doing this kind of thing, which a lot of you on this call are, go ahead and have the experts do most of it for you. And guess what? You can also, once you have your videos, your pictures, your B-roll footage of you walking through the listing, once you have all that stuff and you start your process with AutoReel, then you can also employ me to help you. That's what I do for you guys a lot of times, is I help put together and I help navigate the digital process. So these are not scary things to do these days, guys. We can all do them. They make a huge impact in your marketing. They impress the hell out of your sellers. They impress the hell out of people that you're going to be representing when you're doing a listing presentation. And you can pop up one of these beautiful videos and say, hey, this is part of my process, is I create an incredible listing video for you. So, Bill, what are your takeaways from today's presentation?
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Looks really user friendly. It's got high reviews, so I imagine it is pretty good. And for those of us who aren't very tech savvy, this might be a very good option. And obviously, the videos are powerful, and there's a reason why we use them. Most people are visual. They want to see, different angles. The drones are really been a game changer in the last few years, right? We get different perspectives of the neighborhood. We get different, angles of things and the views and property from the top down. So all this stuff is just excellent marketing material. And yeah, if you're not using it, you're kind of missing an opportunity. And even building promotional videos for yourself are really, a lot of agents are doing really good work there. So yeah, this is good stuff, Kev.
Absolutely. And Jeff Brown sent me a video that we're not going to play right now, but I'm going to put it in the replay. So I'm going to have a lot of cool links in that replay that we send out. So don't hesitate to go through that replay completely and make sure that you follow the links. I'll have all the notes, suggestions for video creation, and I'll of course put in a link to AutoReel. So Bill, thank you for your insights today. Agents, thank you for joining us, and make this week and every week a productive week. And we'll see you guys all on the webinar next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
See you guys.